Well, hello there, everybody. What's happening? So good to see everyone. Happy that you turned in on his Thursday as I write ink on my finger. Guess that's a language I'll have to figure out, huh? So anyway, thank you for tuning in. You have a lot of places you can go. So it's an honor to have you here. Fun. Hit the like button, if you want. But hey, how y'all doing? Hope you're doing good. Beautiful day where I'm at. Lovely weather. Um, Speaking favor over us all. Nothing missing, nothing broken. So, cheers. Just doing a little work outside and spend some morning sun meditating and yeah, and energy. Man, just woo. But anyway, um, personal note, thank you all who sent my sister the energy. I can't reach her. There's nothing there. It's quiet. Um, so seems like exactly what was needed. And Colleen pointed this out on Tuesday's show right near the end. If you remember, the REM pod just went crazy. I mean, all the lights lit up, and it's like, well, that doesn't normally happen. Probably was my sister, but anyway, it's quiet when I think of her, and there's nothing in response. And in my meditation this morning, I kind of heard this in my spirit, was that it's what she needed. There's a transition, excuse me. That is dust. I'm doing a little work outside. So what I was shown, it's like going into a cocoon. It's part of the transition. We're aware of the transition when it's happening. And even for the first bit, it's a little bit awkward. But then there's this place where apparently we complete the transition. And so thank you all for the energy. It was well received. So, hey, Scott, what's up? And Nina, good to see you. And Deborah, Stephen, what's up? Lady Ellie, good to see you. Lost in Space. Claudette, hello. Rick, good to see you. So, thanks, everybody. And yeah, first day tomorrow is fall. Climatology, meteorologically. And the real is 21st or 22nd. But anyway, so we got that going. Elderberry, what's up? Good to see you. So had a strange experience. We all do. And I guess if you kind of look at, life, there are wonders that will behold an eternity that we see. Most people are blind to it. They only see just a very little. So check this out, folks. So we spent time in meditation. It's very good. It's relaxing for me. And it's a venture, habitual line stepper all the time. And so when I came back into the house, and then I came into the office, and it was real interesting because I like incense. I like particular kinds of incense. So I use this same brand all the time. Anyway, I lit it, and this green flame just went. I mean, it was a really big green flame. And that had never happened. And so I blew it out, and I called Lynn, and she was down the hall. And I said, I just lit this. And I said, it was this green flame that, and I said, it shouldn't do this. And I said, I want you to be here, just in case it's something else. So I went and got a different brand and stick of incense and lit it, and green. Boom. Love my wife. She just looked at it and she says, well, that doesn't happen every day, does it? And, I blew it out, and we just kind of looked at each other. And then I lit it again, and normal, thing that when you light incense. So got me to thinking, hey, Claudette, that's a spirit. That's what I thought as well, Claudette. It is what I sensed. Yeah, had that same sense. And so I went out. So let me pull this up, everybody. Because amazing. Not sure if that was a tractor or what, but it was loud. So I looked this stuff up, and so this is from magicalspot.com, a green candle flame. Well, this wasn't a candle, but it was, yeah. Anyway, I said a green candle flame is one of the elements needed to understand to get to know our reality from a new perspective. I said, okay. What is the spiritual meaning of green candle smoke? Apparently it's about abundance, prosperity. The smoke wants you to know that there's two kinds of energy, supports you and your project. Plus it means nature has your back. Far out. That's a fact, Jack. Nature is watching my back, watching your back too. But anyway, goes on to say, and folks, it wasn't white up here. This was a total freaking green flame. I mean, and it was just exceptionally large. Says esoterically, green is the color of water spirits, wood nymphs, goblins, elves, fairies. This symbolic value, combined with the ancient cults of nature, has led to green representing the capricious and spirit force that is willingly placed in contrast with the authorities. Free spirits, guided by this principle, sometimes embody outlaw figures such as Robin Hood and his green-clad brigade. Now, I don't know, folks, but, we've been talking, made the comment that I'm a rebel, green, yeah. So says the green candle flame symbolizes growth, the renewal, and the energy of nature, abundance, healing, and harmony and balance. And it also means interesting enough, that we do make connection. Thought that was strange. Let me see if I can get over here. Come at it from this one. So, let me stop the share. Stop the share. Let's see. So I just deleted the one page that I didn't want to delete. Oh, well, so we'll move right on along on that one. But isn't that interesting? I just thought that was really odd. And so I take it as a sign. Yeah. I love my little sister, and what I got from my spirit guide this morning says she's just fine. She is, the energy that we sent her apparently was the energy enough to guide her to that place where I guess we all will find ourselves one day. All right. Deborah Sloan, what's up? Mary Wins, good to see you. Bonnie, what's up? Hello, Scotty boy. And reality notification. I love that. That's cool. I like that. That is that's a great handle. Far out, as they would say. So got this as well today. It's interesting. We talk about each of our paths. Each of you have a story that's worth writing down. Apparently, somebody is, if it's not our higher self, or if we're not reliving what we had created for ourselves prior to being here. I mean, do you believe that you were like that? You just came into existence? Do you believe that you came into existence with all knowledge, all knowing, all wisdom? Do you believe that when you came into existence that you had an identity? Do you believe that when you came into existence that you had a personality? Do you believe that you came in uniquely at your own time, in your own space, in your own whatever this is? Or do you believe that you are a part of a mass outbirth? I mean, these are the questions. Hello, Robert V. There you go. That's the point, Robert. You write that. Hey, Dave, good to see you. Just some questions. I don't know. If you want to answer them, love to hear your ideas on that. What do I think? Well, I think I'm still remembering the future because there's definitely something that's different. I mean, if we came into existence, then are we saying by that that we came into existence before what we came into our birth? And did we have identity? Did we have a predisposed personality? I mean, is the legends true? Are some of us gifted with gifts that cannot be explained where they came from, but it seems that they're either very random or they're very discretionary into who gets them? I don't know. And if we had an identity, a personality, before we came into this corporeal realm, do we take that personality that we develop here, and does it somehow either replace, does it add to the existing personality before it started? I mean, we're talking about you. I don't know. Hey, Lynn, what's up? Good to see you. Aloha, dear. Bonnie says, I have the gift of gab. And I just like asking the questions. And it's people don't ask these questions. And I often wonder, then what are you doing? I mean, are you just going to roll the dice and say, well, you know, I don't want to think about that. You know, it's too heavy. So what point are you going to figure that and start asking the questions? What, in the midst of transition? That will be interesting. Let's see. Paper so thin. The road home has many paths. That's profound, Rick. I like that. Don't bogart that thing, all right? Well, thank you, reality notification. I like that. It's questions I ask myself. I mean, I kind of look at this. When I used to do road shows in investment conferences across the country, I mean, I needed to know everything about the audience, you know, who else is going to be presenting, how large, how successful, what, I mean, there's 101 different details. Because the last thing you ever want to do is to show up in one of these events, particularly where, in our case, where you were presenting, and you had to go through a competition in order to win, to get to the spot so you could participate to present. Now, I carry that same process, realizing that I'm going over into a realm that is obviously different than this. Okay. You know, I was thinking about this, that when I was a ward of the state in the home for abused children, I in the dining room was very large, and anyway, they had been mopping it, and I came in and I hit that water, and boom, slipped and hit my head, and it was really interesting because it appeared that I was unconscious, but I remember it was a strange feeling. Okay, so I can relate to that, that it's going to be that I've taken enough trips out into the ethereal, aided by certain chemical, that I get that, you know, there's that spatial thing. It's like, well, it's weird. So I get that. But, and if there is life after death, I mean, am I experiencing the consciousness that I'm carrying, that this is somehow my consciousness is evolving? Does that apply for all people? I mean, you know, there are people that come into this realm and are just, they're not very nice. They're tyrants. I mean, how does that equate, right? I love what my sister said. She said that there were many around her, but we carry this humanness with us. I could see that. I mean, we may be an orb, we may be a blob, a glob, a daub, you know, a doobie, brothers. No whole world, listen to the music. But anyway, I digress. I mean, think about it. And you know, are we really over there for a long time? Because if you believe in the recycling process, then apparently we come back. But then I ask myself, so what if the earth ain't here no more? What if we get smacked, you know, by a big old, you know, mini planet, or our sun goes nova and we're just fried, or, you know, how does that work into the reincarnation? What, is there a sign that comes back and says, sorry, this planet is no longer available. Please select the next planet. Is that how that works? Some of the things. Claudette, that's very interesting. Yeah. Realities. And my question is, why do some people seem to stay and others leave this plane? I believe in frequency, and those of us that are vibrating, I agree. I refer back, this never has happened to me before, this experience of talking to a family member that had crossed or was in the process of crossing. It isn't like that. It's a process, apparently. But when I asked her, did she know where to go? I said, can you go anywhere? And it was this was so typical Holly. She says, I don't know where to go. She says, I've only lived amongst a small group of people that are planet Earthbound. I mean, think about that. Where are you going to go? If you get it, are you rolling the dice on that one too? Well, there's some things, Wayne, I can't control. And so therefore, you know, I just have to go with the flow. I can dig that. And really the question is, though, to what end? I mean, if granted, I mean, you think of everything we learn here, right? Everything we question ourselves with. And I often wonder, so this carries over, huh? Right? Right? I mean, wherever my sister is now, I mean, I keep on getting that there's this, what I saw literally was this cocooning effect. And that we all have to go through that process. And then, of course, with the way my mind thinks, then I'm immediately thinking of many sci-fi books, movies, shows that describe a similar process. That you go into this transition, and that this transition requires, in order to make the transition successfully, you have to almost have this incubation kind of thing. And the transmutation is taken with inside of your own aura, your own energy. I could be completely wrong. I don't know. Joe says, better question, why only one planet to experience? Well, good question. I mean, are you only human on Earth? Joe, I guess that would be my question right back at you. Would we only be like, it's interesting. I mean, if we truly can go out like Thoth did in the Emerald Tablets, he said as he went out, he saw many different planets, many different civilizations, and many different progressions in how they were developing and evolving. I mean, there's Galactic Council. Is it, if you read the books, I mean, the Liber Lilith says that, and there's other esoteric teaching that goes with that we as humans, as the question is sapient or not, we're going to get into that. Do we have a representative? Is there someone there that represents us? Then it goes into the question, if there are other species other than man, then are we all on the same path as intergalactic species? Goes back to yesterday with plan A, plan B. If plan A was never going to work, meaning longevity, immortality, then plan B had to be what? The backup plan to what? The failure of plan A? So now we perceive life merely to be this fleeting moment. Somehow that's balanced in nature. I don't know. I don't see that. Unless this is, in fact, the death zone, that we're really not alive at all, that each and every one of us are dead. We are, in literally sense, the walking spiritual dead. And whether it's a sentence, whether it is whatever the length of time, you can't exist in the realm of the dead that long. Maybe that is why we have our lifespans being reduced. Because as death continues to progress and to grow, and as it continues to pull the need of energy, that why it requires so many souls, that when we perceive this thing called dying, that we equate it to somehow bad. Yeah, just a question. Dead. Scotty Boy says, great. So my policy is worthless. Well, I don't know, Scotty Boy. I mean, do you think you're going to go to the same place that Claudette is at, Scotty? I don't know. I mean, I got this beach that I've been laboriously planning out. I don't know. Dance on Waves, The Unseen World book by Anthony Bourgeois. There you go. I love the conversation in this group. Y'all just some far out people. That's all I got to say. So, all right. Here's something that I'll add into the equation, the conversation. So during my initiation into the mystery school, occultism, was, in my case, 50 years of Christianity. I learned, as I look back now, and I was applying principles and laws, cause and effect, because my brain is wired a little bit differently, because I look back now and all the books, all my writings, and I'm going, holy crap. This has got nothing to deal with a God, whether the God is up at the craps table playing the dice for you, and you're going to say, now, God, what I need is the rent check paid tomorrow. And here's God going, let's roll. Let's see what the bones have to say, Doesn't Proverbs say that the dice are cast and the fate is decided? I don't know. I mean, come on. So anyway, let me get to the point of this. It says, hey, Gilbert, what's up, brother? This is how powerful we are. So I learned in my time in, as a layman and in the ministry, the power, exponential power. We were taught, and many of you, when I quote this, you're going to go, I've heard that before. Damn right you have. It says, where two or more are gathered. And it goes on to say, if two or more agree as touching anything, it will be done for them. Goes on to say, do you not know that you have the power of binding and loosing? Whenever you stand, and you stand with two or more, and you agree, anything that you bind is bound in earth and bound in heaven. Anything you loose is loosed on earth and is loosed in heaven. All right, so let's just take the esoterical, pull this out of the religion goo, and let's just dry it off, and let's see what it's saying. What it's saying is that you and I, it's exponential. I think it's in the book of Jeremiah where it says 1 can put 1,000, 2 can put 10,000 to flee. So it appears to be an application of 1,000-fold. Each of us have this power that when we apply it to others, and we apply the power together, it's expanding out exponentially. It means also as a group that if we come together, we have to come together in unity, we have to come together in peace, and we have to come together in the foundation of love. Love is very more defined than just what we see it and taught in the Western world. So this group right now, I could go, Lori, Deborah, Bonnie, Mary wins. I want to meet later. And if we can agree, this is hypothetical. And if we come into an agreement on something, and we're not hoping, but we absolutely are assured that those things for which we believe, which we speak, shall come to pass, we'll have them. It's all through there. It's a mystical book. If you'll just, for me, you just have to take out the religious thing. I mean, it's very obvious to me that these were either initiates or masters of the ancient mystery schools that was writing this. It was the other group that hijacked the story, but when you really become born again, you ever heard that term? So we could do this. And the strange thing is, I have a sense we will get together one way or another, but you see, we applied this in these power prayer groups. I tell you, I knew some women back in the day. They were truly witches. They didn't see themselves as that, but now as I look back, we were binding and loosing. We were taking by force energy. The Bible says as well, only violent men take the kingdom. Hey, Lost in Space, what's up? I mean, this is how it was done. This is how this religion, this mind virus grew. And then if you have those who know the occult word, the wisdom, the hidden knowledge. Yes, I do, Joe. I do. This group has a remarkable ability, a track record. And so I'm just talking about this because, it is relevant to us. Kind of goes into the theme, which God do you believe will save humanity? So with all that knowledge and the experience that we applied it, we were binding angels. We were loosening angels. We were binding demons. We were loosening demons. I mean, this is what we were taught. Now, there were other denominations that worship a different Jesus and a different God, but apparently there's no trademark on the name Jesus or the believing of that. So that's why you have so many different Jesus beliefs. But in our Jesus belief, as I look back now, we were being taught mysticism and never realized it. Well, I would say that there's a number of us that have figured it out and we're going, holy crap. I mean, this is how governments start. A government is no different than a religious ideology, just portrayed into the view of a political pretense. Same thing. Read the Declaration of Independence. That's a spell. Proclaiming some powerful shit, man. That's all I got to say. Lori says, I was a witch way before religion. There you go, darling. You have got it. Indeed. Joyce says, the real question is, what is our goal and why are some unaligned? Well, because I think that this is the amusement park, Joyce. It is. Years ago, decades ago, when I went to Universal Studios, it's interesting. You pay the ticket to come in, and once you get past the turnstile, the birthright, you've got this amusement park. And the thing about amusement parks, they can be extraordinarily stimulating, or they can be horrifying. But it's amazing how horrifying and being scared is, interestingly enough, addictive. Because the truth be known about fear, the reason why it's such a control factor is because what's happening to the brain. But anyway, getting back to the amusement park. So it's just a thought, because I find it more and more freaking weird. The world today has lost its fucking mind. World leaders today are bat crap crazy. I don't know if these are human beings or not. They don't think like humans. And then I'm going, what if there is this mind worm? What if there's something, going back to an episode of Next Generation on this one, what if there is something that they drink? And when they drink it, something takes over. Is that a god? Is the agenda today God driven? Because I don't know about you, but I'm trying to figure out which freaking God is at the in the wheelhouse. You know, it's like, all right, who's the pilot here? Does I don't like their God. This God of war, death, destruction. I don't dig that dude, man. Chick, whatever. I mean, they got negative energy. They bring me down, and it's a real freaking bummer. I don't want it. I don't like it. So if they can do what they're doing, why can't you and I do the same thing? I mean, I'm just a small little channel, a unique group of people listening, but yet it applies to all of us. I mean, why can't we bring forth in full manifestation an alternative plan? Because the one the world's on right now sucks. I'm so fed up of the three-ring political circus that I'm immersed in. You know, it's like you're in this freaking galactic or this, ethereal pinball machine. Bang, bang, bang. Because I was a pinball. I really enjoyed it. I was in tournaments. I enjoy playing pin and that and foosball. But anyway, I digress. But that's what it feels like. Well, which side are you on? I'm not. Bing, bing, bing. All right, you get slapped. You're going, which side are you on? I'm not on, and this is what happened. They slap you back and forth, and where you finally just say, hey, screw this. I don't want any part of it. Because if this is how humans act, and this is how they apparently help other humans. I always thought government was a servant to the people. Damn sure ain't today, which tells me from a certain wisdom that, wait a minute, is that human? But then what the hell is human? Just because I have this, esoteric view doesn't necessarily mean it's reality, because I'm looking at that and everyone says that's reality. But the one reality I do know is that we're all here for a very short period of time. And why is it that I see the world leaders marching to death, never to life? Why is that? Is it because death is their God? I was meditating and I was asking the question about the control. And I heard this distinctly. It hides before your eyes, but now it knows you very well. I said, all right, where in the freak is Morpheus, right? Where's Neo? Anyway. Some monkey experience, that's true. Sometimes I guess it is better to be the paddle than the ball. I don't know, because it's a messed up system. It really is. And as a philosopher, and this is what I think philosophy does. You look at the systems in play. I mean, so what do you have in every society? You have a society that elects leaders. Think about that. We elect leaders, and then we erect, this thing called government. Now, it goes through the same process as erecting a church, a mosque, a temple. In fact, as I have shown many times here, the House of Representatives is a temple. Okay, so that implies that if it's a temple, then there's got to be some higher power that the temple was constructed for. So is expectation really manifested? I think it is. Manifestation is not only just individually, it's collective. Someone the hell is manifesting this, Joe. Somebody is. And as a philosopher, it's what we do. We question everything. We don't accept one dogma over another, one ideology being more superior to the other. You can't do that. It's the trap. People ask sometimes what my political views are. I said, I'm neither to the right and I'm neither to the left. You know what I am? You think about the teeter-totter? I'm the round joint that the teeter-totter is teetering on. I'm not the other way around. I'm not to the right and I'm not to the left. Because you know what I found out? You get your ass out there far enough, and if the jerk on the other end decides to jump off, your ass is going down, and it's going to hurt. So I figured out that the only way to really do this is that I'm the joint that the teeter-totter teeters on. So that's just how I see it. Joyce says, I'm on the perch and it sways. There you go. I mean, I don't know. So politically, I believe this. I believe in free thinking. And that's the great ability that if you have a community that thinks in the same line, then far out. Just don't impose your beliefs on someone else's reality. If someone wants to join that reality, that's cool. But you should always have the highest clause of any agreement like that is that as a free thinker, you're going to evolve. Hopefully. Then again, what do I know? Angel Dreams. Hi, how are you doing? Good to see you. Let's do this now. Yeah. So Paul Joe says the fulcrum. That's what it is. Now, you know what, Paul Joe, you look at that word and you go, yeah, I see something in that. Joy says, if all perceptions lead to the goal, it is over. Yeah, but I don't believe all perceptions lead to the same goal. Honey Ann says, I think we imagine our reality. We write it down on paper. We're going to do great detail. And then we think in our minds that this is what it is. Yeah. It's kind of like having that feeling, when, I don't know about you, but I get these feelings at times. I swear it's like I'm in a freaking dream. Now, I know I'm consciously awake. I know that, my brain is, operating on the alpha beta waves, but there are times. Hey, London McLevin, how you doing? Good to see you, Colleen. Hello. But yeah. And there's dreams I've had. They were visions. They weren't dreams. And I still remember the three beings. They were in every one of those. So what is that? I don't know. I can't believe, because if I am a part of a thought process, right? A belief system. But now you think about this, you come together in the unification of the belief system, and man, if you got a conductor in the pulpit that knows how to manipulate that, harness that, you're going to have a mega church real quick. You're going to go from being a broke ass preacher to suddenly to where you're going to have the ability of having not one, not two, but three freaking international jets. So why does it work for that one, but it doesn't work for the mass and the congregation? Think about that. I do. In fact, I can say this. I had this whole show that I have. I mean, it's all lined up here, but apparently we will be probably doing that tomorrow. Some of the most powerful wizards I've ever met are preachers. I'll say this. Most powerful wizard I've ever met was Kenneth Copeland. I would say Kenneth Hagin probably on the same level. I mean, and I can name a few others as well. What God is he working for? That's it's a very good question. But I've seen these men. I've seen the women. I mean, powerful. And they have a tangible, coherent power. It's no bullshit. They really do. They know it. And they use it. Bonnie says, let's look at the new city, the wall. What do you think? Looks like a prison to me. You know what that thing reminds me of? In the original movie Dune, on the planet, what was it? Anthraxis, the thing that went up. I mean, to me, something funky going on. That's all I got to say. Well, I'll say this, Graham. I knew John Osteen, talked with John, had lunch with John Osteen, Joel Osteen's father. John Osteen was, an East Texas preacher. And the prosperity message that his son has profited off of, again, you have to, it's really where you stand on this. But my point is, they're plugging into something. Now, they try to say that they're going to teach everybody that this is a sign of God's love. Which God? The New Testament God is not the Old Testament God, and the Old Testament God is not the New Testament God. And if you're trying to tell me you got different covenants in these two different beings, then wait a minute. Lady says, yeah, the Dune is a freaking far out movie. I have not seen the remake of it. I have to check that out. But yeah. Osteen, what exactly is the positive impact? If you say language speaking, I'm not impressed. Mother Teresa would call it big. Listen, when I was developing the first mobile giving app, I was the first. I invented it. I went around to these churches. I'll just share with you on this. You gain a knowledge. I literally went to over 100 different churches while I was developing the app itself. Mobile payment wasn't around. This was back in 2009 and 2010. And let me tell you what I found out about Christianity and money. Money was the true God. I didn't see no Jesus in there. Met with many of it pastors, many church councils. I tell you, I've done it all. Some of them called me the Antichrist, an agent of the Antichrist, because I was bringing in a system of accountability. Because, see, that's what happens once you go digital. You don't have the little slush fund. And what I found out about modern day religion, and particularly when you start getting into the big time television, it is all about the money. You know, you may get saved for free, but the price into heaven is going to cost you. It's a fact. And so I had to begin to reconcile with this ever increasing knowledge of finding out, for instance, how could there ever have been a Jesus when the letter J never existed? And if you say, well, it was just, the translation from the Jewish into the English, well, then that means Hezekiah, that means Habakkuk, it means, Jeremiah, all of them should have been changed. We weren't. And if you know of anything about studying history, particularly royalty, if in fact this was a god, you don't change its name. And then, the thing that gets me, and we've talked about this till ad nauseum, is that, every single Christian I talk to, I ask them one question. Do you know who Vespasian was? Every one of them. No, never even heard that name. Maybe a good reason why you haven't heard that name, but that, and then, I look at this, and so I'm seeing these people. I mean, hey, religious giving in the United States is the 5th largest. In the time that I was developing the market, was the 5th largest industry in the United States. Religion. Every politician will kiss the ass of any religious leader or group. Yeah. Because that's what politicians do. They kiss ass. Statesmen don't. They don't want your money. They don't need your money. They're there for a higher purpose. And so I saw it. I saw people going hungry while their pastor is eating, filet mignon at Ruth Chris. Saw their congregations where some people didn't have a car to actually go, but they would bum rides, etc. But their pastor's driving a brand new Cadillac. I mean, so which God? The slide that's used on this one, I mean, look at that. And I got to tell you, when I look at those symbols and what they represent, I'm asking myself, where's their God? Where are these gods at? While the earth is going to hell in a handbasket, then humanity obviously is not mature enough to rule itself. Apparently, we are indeed a step above simians. And you got a world hell-bent again on death and destruction, totalitarianism, authoritism, censorship. I mean, I can just go on and on and on. Is that wisdom? Is that human? Does that represent humanity? I don't want any part of it. And they all claim to have their God. Well, hell, they'll go and get burnt ash, put on their forehead. I believe in this God, yes, 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 yes. But their actions call them a liar. And then I think, do these people even think about death? Because apparently their thinking is different than the vast majority of others. They don't seem to have any fear at all. They seem to get more uglier, more, I don't know, evil? Is that fair? The older they get. Wow. Wow. And I'm going, holy crap. Now, wait a minute. Do they know something that we don't know? This hereby, let's see, reality says my brother is produced for MSN Company here in New York City. He is not open-minded, and the things they do for their workers is insane. Money to be a part of the club. Yep, yeah. Every secret society that I've studied and have known about. I was a part at one time of one of the most conservative, far right, they would say, organizations. Some called it a secret society. To get in cost you. So you pay this money, and then that money allows you to suddenly plug in to a whole different power system than the average person will ever have access to. Something. When I was in the ministry, I taught ministers, and it's well taught within, particularly Baptist theology schools, that in order to be a successful pastor, you need a church of at least 50 people. Because 50 families, how the math works out, typically only 10% are actually going to want, that will actually carry the majority of the burden of the needs for the church to exist, including the pastor's stipend, salary, whatever. It's a science. It's just so I'm sitting here just talking about going, so what the hell? What God is that? I mean, and again, I'm asking the question as a human being, if that's what I am. It's like, well, which one of these gods? I mean, Christian, Hindu, Taoist. I mean, which one? Where are these mighty gods? These entities of power, majesty, etc., etc. I swear they're in Vegas getting laid, playing, the slot machines, and just getting flat wasted. Because they ain't here. And if there is one in the pilot house, they're drunk. Get them out of there. Okay. Mary Wynn says the show was on and caught some of it. I don't know. I'm not sure what that was. So anyway, folks, there we go. I had this whole thing. I had this whole other show laid out. Well, as John Candy used to say in the movie Plane, Trains, and Automobiles, I'm like the mighty river that flows. I kind of go with the flow. Yeah. He left us too soon. John Candy was a good guy. All right, folks. Annie, how are you doing? She's sending love to the chat. So, Raven Keever, how are you? Haven't seen you in a long time. Joyce says, don't go. Please don't go. Night Stalker Blues, sun, the true light of our world. Yeah. Nina says, right there, which God is going to save us? I mean, I'm just asking a question for a friend. I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to be respectful. I'm trying to say, well, don't the rest. Someone once said to me, well, how dare you try to assume or presume that you could think like the mind of God? I said, well, listen, a dog may not know how to cook, but it certainly knows how to pick up the scraps off the table. It's like, well, if you got this freaking superior mind, something messed up, man. Something just messed up. So my money is in Abraxas. I don't know, Monkey Express. I'm just asking again. I'm just a simple guy, you know. I got nothing against him. I mean, I do got a real thing for the cat that most people think is this peace and love cat, because I tell them all the time, obviously you haven't studied that book that you claim is your, word. Because if you're telling me what's in 1 Corinthians 13:4-8, and then I'm going to take you to Deuteronomy 28, something ain't right here. You what? There ain't no meeting in the middle on this one, So nothing missing, nothing broken, Jack. You got it. All right. Much love to y'all. It's been fun. 1 hour. It's like nonstop. It's like, all right. All right, folks, have yourself, Paul Joe says, fun thoughts. Well, that's why I tried to make it fun, Bonnie says, don't worry. To hammer everything looks like an I love it. Scotty Boy says, Bubbles has all my money. Y'all are far out. All right, folks, have yourself a great one. We'll see each other there on the Friday. Because if I said tomorrow, I mean,